that again. Hey, Shannon O'Flaherty here, and it's lovely to see you with me tonight right here. And tonight we're going to be talking about the root chakra and your home. And let's see, that's right. Okay. The root chakra and your home. And the reason why I'm authorized to teach you about all of this, if some of you don't know who I am, is because I've been in private practice for the last 20 years, and I've radically changed my own life and helped change the life of thousands of clients and very, very many students, probably hundreds of students by now. And I've developed a process called the pixelization process because we're all like shining bright diamonds, right? Well, we want to be our shining bright diamond self. But because we all have these kind of hidden wounds, childhood wounds, shadow parts, parts of us that we can't see. Just like diamonds, they have inclusions. Even the most clear diamonds all have inclusions, which are invisible to the naked eye. But then if you pixelate that, you can see all of those dark spots. And so we want to get down to those dark pixels that are hidden in our subconscious and pull them all out and clear them up. Because when we have so much dark stuff clogging us all up, it doesn't allow our light to shine brightly. In other words, we can't be in our most open potential shining brightly. In fact, that's what a black diamond actually is. It's a diamond with lots and lots of pixels so that no light can get out. And so in the past couple of trainings, I've given you an introduction to the root chakra, and then we talked about the root chakra and our emotions and physicality associated with that. And, you know, in truth, I could spend ages just talking about the root chakra alone because it is the core of all that we are. So now let's just get you to the slides that I've created for you this time. And there we are. Okay. Great. I think I did that right first time around. Who knew? So this is about the root chakra and your home. This is not my home. I don't know whose home it is, but it's a very lovely home. And just as we accumulate hidden dark pixels in our bodies and our cells, this also happens in our houses. And in fact, sometimes it's much more obvious in our homes. They can be much more revealing to us about what's energetically going on for us inside of our bodies. And that's because the root chakra provides the links between our energetic system and the world, the physical world. And it's our basic life force energy, right? It's our connection to the earth. And our home represents that. Because remember, the root chakra is literally about our safety and our survival and our security and how we can meet our daily needs. And our home symbolizes that. Has anyone here ever been homeless? I've been homeless. I was homeless for about 5 months. And it wasn't a terrible time, actually. I was extremely focused on what I was doing. But I was also in massive transition, right? I had no idea what was coming next. I had no idea if what I was even doing was going to work out. I had no idea where I was going. And I also really had very, very little money at that time. And I was definitely surfing the sort of surrender and trust wave. Has anybody been there? Can you relate to this? If you can relate to feeling that kind of vulnerable and feeling like I have to surrender, type me in the comments below here. Because, you know, this kind of vulnerability, it's not uncommon, but this is probably the time when surrender is And trusting is probably going to serve you much better than spiraling and crashing and burning, right? And sometimes it's a fine line and we're riding that little edge. So if your root chakra is out of alignment, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything is falling apart in your world. It could just mean that you're undergoing massive transition. So it could happen at the end of a relationship, if you're moving house, if you've experienced a huge trauma of any kind. It could just mean that you're not particularly in flow at the moment. Or it could mean that everything is absolutely falling apart. So, because our homes represent our safety and security, and if we're having structural problems in our homes, we may want to look at that, because the root chakra is about our structure. So your knees and your bones may be aching, right? And we want to have a solid foundation. So what about the land that your home was built on? I mean, never mind just the foundation of your home, but what about the foundation of the land of your home? Was it once a sacred site? Are there any angry spirits that might still be living there that aren't happy about having your house on that land? Is there a ley land going through the land that's disrupting the property, right? So there can be all sorts of energetic problems that are causing foundational issues in your home. And it could also just be a weak foundation. Either the house is really old or the foundation wasn't put in there correctly, right? So if you're having foundational problems in your house, this is something to go within and look at. And what about water damage? Burst pipes are an immediate attention grabber that there's some kind of root chakra going on. This just actually happened to me about 2 weeks ago. And as some of you may know, I'm moving to Portugal next month. I'm really excited about that. Going to go live with the palm trees and the sunshine. But 2 weeks ago, I still didn't know. So it was a couple of months that I had been waiting and waiting and waiting to hear if I had gotten my long stay visa. Could I even move to Portugal? Could I give notice to my landlords what was going on? So I had this giant big question mark over my life. And it was just getting, I was like literally at bursting point in terms of waiting so long for an answer. And then suddenly water spewing all over the place. So I was just like, okay, great. And literally, I think it was like 3 or 4 days later, that visa came through for me. So finally, everything could move forward again. We don't like being in limbo, because your root chakra, because remember, it governs the hips and the knees and the legs, and it's all about moving forward. So when we're in limbo too, we can be feeling like nothing's really moving, stagnant energy, right? And so like mold is also a big issue in your house, because mold creeps in there stealthily. You might not even know that it's there. In fact, mold could already be in your house when you buy it unknowingly, which could mean that your landlords had some root chakra issues, or perhaps the people before you. But nevertheless, you've attracted this house, even if you didn't know about the mold. And if the mold persists and continues to be a problem, you've really got to look into that, and you've got to look deep within yourself to see what kind of dark pixels are gathering up stealthily without you being aware. Dark pixels in your subconscious, because mold sometimes isn't obvious. I mean, in this picture, yes, it's obvious, you can see it, but mold is there a really long time before you can actually see it. Just like our woundings in our chakras, right? Just like our woundings in our subconscious, they're there for a long time before we start to notice how they're holding us back. And they add up and they get darker and darker and clog up all of our beautiful light from shining forth. And of course, any flooding issues too. How you deal with it is another. So like some people do move to flood areas, and people who are in balance with a balanced root chakra, knowing that their house may flood, they have flood insurance, they have solutions in place. I always remember visiting my sister in Pennsylvania near the border of New Jersey, and there's all of these amazing houses right on the river, but it's a really expensive area, but it's a massive floodplain, and some of these houses are literally on floats, so that when it rains and it floods, the house just floats up. So those people probably aren't going to be having root chakra issues every time it floods, because their foundation isn't going to be ruined, because they've found a way to keep their safety and security, their home, a safe place for them. And also think about, like, what's your garden like? Is it filled with weeds? Is it filled with beautiful flowers? And what about the facade of your house? Does it need a coat of paint, or is that kind of scrungy too? And just like people, if we walk around presenting ourselves very disheveled and shabby, we're not going to really be giving off this energy of self-nurturing, which is what the root chakra is all about. I mean, if you think about transients on the street, people avoid transients because we don't feel safe around them, because the transient themselves is not secure, is not protected, is not feeling safe, and they're not grounded either. And our houses reflect this same energy. Is this making some kind of sense to you? So if you can make sense of this, please type sense below in the comments. So I know you're all going to be like looking at your houses now, go down into the cellar. Oh gosh, things are dripping. So sort it out. Now let's have a little look inside the house. So our root chakra is also our inability to let go, and all of the lack and scarcity and abundance issues that you may have live here. And so when it's not working properly, there's a lack of vitality. So do you have stuff everywhere, even though it may actually have its own place? So I get a certain amount of clutter is perfectly acceptable, but it comes to a certain point, right? Like people have busy lives. Oh, okay, well, I've just folded the laundry, but I don't have time to put it all away right now. But, getting to it in a day or two is one thing. Leaving it there for 3 weeks is another, right? So when we don't care about our possessions, it's a sign that something is not quite in alignment in our own root chakra, because we're not caring for ourselves. We're not caring for our basic fundamental needs. This is about the time, like if you start to notice that there's just stuff everywhere, how can the energy flow correctly in your house? And it's the same thing as these pixels. If there's too many pixelated pieces of you in your subconscious floating around, that you're just carrying all of that old stuff around with you. Or what about complete disorder, right? So I love that TV show Friends. Remember Friends? And Monica, the neat freak, right? And there's this one episode where there's a secret closet, and Chandler never ever gets to see in the secret closet, and he breaks into it and he opens the closet and everything comes pouring out of the closet, right? Tennis rackets, boxes, balls, nothing's in order there. It's all just completely crammed in. And it was so funny because these are like all of Monica's dark pixels in the background, all of the subconscious stuff suppressed that she's not dealing with. So on the surface, she presents as beautiful, lovely, skinny, in control, but she's got all of this stuff going on in the background that she's not showing to the world, and even ignoring herself, because it's all just put away, not in an ordered way in the closet, all jumbled up together. So it's just like sorting through our wounding emotionally, unless we actually isolate each of these dark pixels and find out, what is this about? Why am I carrying this around with me? then we're going to be carrying around a whole bunch of stuff that isn't serving us. Have you ever seen a house with a hoarder? And I'm talking about like a real hoarder. It's it's astounding. I mean, you can't even open the doors to rooms because there's so much stuff blocking the way. And how is energy supposed to flow through there? So if we're not clear, how can we open up fully? If there's too much stuff or those inclusions like in the diamond or pixels, dark pixels, how can we shine our brightest light? How can that energy flow when we're carrying around all of this old stuff that we probably never even see? We don't even know what half of it is. But what we want to do is clear it out. And the hoarders can't clear it out because they're attached to it, because it's their uncomfortable comfort zone. They can't get rid of all of that stuff. So when we pixelate these pieces, it makes it really easy to see this darkness that is inside of us, right? And so your house directly reflects these kind of things. And what about broken things, right? If something's broken in your house, either chuck it out or fix it. If one of my shamanic totem breaks, I look deeply into what that may symbolize within myself. And then I absolutely get rid of it. I remember when I went off my path to give up my power instead to a relationship and lose my purpose. When I was leaving that relationship and I was cleaning out stuff, I found my black shamanic poncho that I wear in ceremony, that I wear for healings. And my poncho, oh, my beloved poncho, it was an antique. It was from Peru. It's my first one that I bought 20 years ago when I started, was completely eaten by moths. I mean, no way to save this. There was more holes than fabric left. And I laid it out on the grass, and I was quite devastated. But I can tell you, the symbology was not lost on me, and I was like, right, okay, well, this is what you get. You go off your power, you go off your path, and you give up your power, and guess what? You're going to get chewed up with holes, and the things that you value the most are no longer going to be powerful objects or things of beauty, because all of the energy is just going to simply leak out of them. And this is what happens in your house if you have broken things sitting around. So into the fire it goes. You don't want broken energy around you. So get out your toolkit and start making repairs, because it's the same with ourselves. Why would we go through life carrying around these broken parts of ourselves when we're perfectly able to fix them? Makes you think, huh? And then finally, how's the state of your refrigerator looking? So in 2014, I moved into the house of a boyfriend. And with permission, I said, is it okay if I go through your kitchen cupboards and refrigerator and chuck out some old stuff? I found stuff in there from 2002. I mean, it was crazy. Some stuff that had never been opened, stuff with sell by dates, tins, old stuff. It was absolutely amazing. I mean, it was pretty funny at the time. We had a good laugh about that. But this is not going to serve you well at all. And you certainly wouldn't want to open any of those things or ingest any of those things. Do you have a bunch of leftovers, old leftovers? And if you open them, they look at this picture, they look like this picture down here. They look all moldy and disgusting. Yeah. Do you need a big clean out of your fridge? Because our root chakra is not just about our mental, emotional, and spiritual health. It's also about our physical health, and it's about our nutrition, because food comes from the earth and we're connected to the earth and we eat the food. And so how you respect your nutrition and food health will also enlighten you to your root chakra issues. I know when I'm out of alignment, I crave carbs and sugar and sugar. And oh, did I say sugar? More sugar. I know, like in the first lockdown earlier this year, I can tell you chocolate mug cakes were my best friend. And my body responded immediately, and I gained 15 pounds and felt like crap. So, can you relate to this? You know, it's much harder to come out of a downward spiral out of alignment than to simply maintain a kind of healthy balance in the first place. And our houses are great reflectors of where we might be energetically in the process. So have a look around. So now I can imagine you're all going to be cleaning out your refrigerators tonight, and and seeing what you can get rid of and letting go of things. Now let's see if I can get out of this screen share. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. And you know, I'm in the process of letting go of everything because I'm moving, and I've always been pretty good about letting go of everything, regularly taking things to charity shops, keeping everything in circulation because that's part of our abundance. We want to keep everything in circulation. That's why you tithe and you keep the currency of money running. This is all root chakra stuff. It's all abundant stuff. So hoarding stuff, it's like making the energy be stagnant. And so now I'm in moving mode, moving to another country mode. So I'm in total non-attachment. Let's get rid of everything. And it's really quite freeing. So I don't know if you ever do that, but sometimes it's a really good idea to go and have a really good clean out. But it's all root chakra stuff. And, you know, even though I'm choosing to move and I'm happy about it, it's still root chakra stuff being triggered. That's why moving is number 2 on the most stressful thing out of life to do, even if you choose to. But it's been really fun to talk to you all about the root chakra. And we're all such complex bundles of vibrational light energy. And there's so many different levels in which we can shift. And nothing in the world makes me happier than being able to help people shift out of where they are into a higher, more aligned vibration. And this week, it's been so wonderful. I've had so many excellent conversations with a lot of you beautiful people in this group, people who've been in this group for a while, you know who you are. And it's just been so excellent to connect with all of you. And I'd really love to connect with all of you who are ready to shift, who want to be in alignment, who want to get to the next level, who don't want to be bound down by your subconscious dark pixels that are blocking your beautiful light from shining in all of its brilliance, blocking you from reaching your whole potential. You're the people that I want to talk to, and let's see if we can have a wonderful 20-minute free call, and let's see if we're a good vibrational match so that we can work together, and let's see what kind of light we can create together. So go ahead and private message me and book a 20-minute free mind shift call, and I so look forward to hearing from you. I love you all so much, and have a great rest of the day wherever you may be. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.